about this character named Venom. It was like 5 comments to 2 comments to the next biggest character. Okay, well, let's go make a video about Venom. Boom, immediately popped. Immediately popped. And it doesn't have to be a lot. You're just looking for a hair more comments. Okay, the 4th one is the structure of your video. The structure. Did you explain and then did you tell a story? Did you start with a story? Did you start with a historical reference? Did you do a framework? Okay, did you go story framework? Did you go framework story quote? Did you just yap the whole time? Did you go joke, story, framework, joke, framework? That matters. I'm not even kidding. I literally see my videos as chapters. This is a listicle, so it was basically hook listicle, so this one's not a great example. But if I go back, I have, even inside of these listicles, I have structure. Okay, in the last number, it was literally talking about comments. I threw in a story after explaining it. Okay, what was the structure of your video? Okay, maybe the structure was the thing that won. And then the last thing you're gonna ask yourself was, what was my hook? And not necessarily what was my hook exactly, but what were the principles in my hook? How many words were on the screen? What was the relationship between my on-screen text and what I said? What did I say? Were there any buzzwords that I said? Okay, that's what you want to ask. Was the tone or the emotion pulled from my hook rage baity? Was it humorous? Was it, whatever it is? If you take those 5 questions and then you play a game of mix and matchy for the next 2 weeks, it becomes an ongoing journey of mix, match, improve, mix, match, improve, mix, match, improve. You take the format that you thought worked, and then you take the buzzword that you thought worked, and then maybe you take the comments that you thought worked, and then you make a new video with different comments, but the same buzzword, but then a different structure, but the same format. You just play that game until you get process of elimination of what is working. So if you go to my page, from the beginning, I knew that if I put money on the screen, the odds are, specifically the journey that I went through, I went from 3K to 40K really fast, and I knew if I put those numbers on a screen, it was going to do well. I didn't want to talk about that anymore, but that was research that I gathered. But what I realized is people also loved the concept of counter positioning and branding. So I made a video about going from 30K to 40K through counter positioning. That video went really well. Okay, then anytime I talked about personal branding, it went well. Okay, so let me just make another video about personal branding and put new on it. And then I know that people talk about counter positioning, so let me go make a personal brand video about counter positioning. Okay, I know people are always intrigued whenever I name a new concept. Okay, I named something called the super hook. I got that from somebody else named Davi, but it was something that they had never heard of. I had something called the accordion method, who I got from Caleb Ralston. These are not things that I invented. But anytime I would name these things, people in the comments would be like, holy cow, I would have never thought about having a super hook. I would have never thought about having the accordion method. And I knew, okay, anytime I name a concept, people seem to comment about it. Now let me plug all of this together. Theoretically, I could make a video, the insert crazy framework, let's call it the Olipop framework to build your personal brand to make $40,000 in 6 months with counter positioning. And then I tell a story, and any people like it whenever I talk about like my carrot story. There's like a metaphor. If you go into my videos, I use the metaphor of carrots a lot. And then so in that video, maybe I use the metaphor of carrots. It's literally a game. It's like a puzzle. I'm piecing all of this together based off of the data whenever I look at my outliers. So I'm not necessarily getting into, a lot of people whenever they say data, they're looking at watch time, retention maps. That kind of matters. Like if you ever work with me, we'll get into that. It actually matters a ton, but it's just like really high level stuff that most people can't comprehend in a little 10-minute video. Instead, the easiest way is to just look at your 10 most recent videos, find the outliers, and ask you these 5 questions. I'm going to go through them one more time really fast, write them down. Number 1, what was the format? Green screen, talking head, walking, was it a reaction video? Number 2, what was the buzzword or the topic or the idea? Those are all synonyms to me of this video. Make sure we move that buzzword onto the screen next time. Literally put it right here or like right here. I put mine right here. Okay. Number 3, what are the comments saying? And it literally just has to be 4 comments compared to 1 comment. doesn't have to be 15 comments. It can just be a hair more, because that's a 400% increase, right? How do I move what people are talking about and move it to my on-screen text? That's a huge thing. That's a huge thing that I'm missing, is you use the data to literally condense it all down to your on-screen text, because that's like the best signal and billboard to watch your video, okay? This one is probably gonna say something about data and personal branding, because I know that people freak out over those, and I just now am talking about data and personal branding, but I had to put it right here to signal how to use it, okay? Maybe something about content. It actually might be personal branding or content strategy or something. I don't know. I'll decide in like 10 seconds once I'm done with this video. Fourth question, what was the structure? Break up your video into chapters. 10 seconds of this, 30 seconds of this, 40 seconds of this. Was it a story? Was it a statistic? Was it a joke? Was it a personal story or a metaphor, or was it application? And if you're not able to do this, then you're not a great communicator, and you need to start thinking about ways to break up your content into structures like this, because you're probably just yapping with zero thought process, and that might be fine for you, probably not, if I had to guess. Yeah. Okay, last one. And then what is your hooks? And it's not just, hey, what was my hook? What was my hook relationship to the emotion that the person might have felt? What was my hook relationship from my on-screen text to what I said with my mouth? Did I say the same thing? Were they complementing? Were they contrasting? What was the keywords in my hook? The buzzwords in my hook? What was my caption down here at the bottom? Like, this down here matters. Like, what were the first 8 words of my caption? Okay? This is all stuff that matters. What were the visuals on my hook? What shirt was I wearing? Was I throwing around a pen? Did I have a book in my hand? Was I moving up? How close was I? How was my lighting? Some of that stuff is what I would consider more of the hook. Things that are going to be seen in that first 30 seconds. So this is how you use data to build a content strategy, which inevitably makes you an awesome personal brand. Good luck. I just bought a 2025 Toyota instead of a G-Wagon. Could I have afforded a G-Wagon? Yes. If we take the Dave Ramsey principle or whatever, 10% of your average net income, could have afforded a G-Wagon, a Lambo, a used Rolls Royce. Could have done it. Instead, I went with a Toyota. Why? There's an underarching principle here, and it stems from these quotes. Sam Altman, founder of ChatGPT, OpenAI, he's part of Y Combinator, he said, startups die when they run out of money. It's the only time a startup dies, whenever it runs out of money. Sam Zell, billionaire real estate mogul, says you must retain your freedom at all times. Nick Huber, one of